Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where this is a day full of a lot of people. So sit back and relax because we have quite a few guests here in the studio this morning to get to, and we're going to talk about all kinds of wild stuff. So, but first up, we have our friends from 4-H here and the Jackson County Fair. And Jamie's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here.
You are not Jamie, my husband.
No.
You are Jamie, my buddy.
Exactly.
Yes.
For 30 some
For,
years.
I was going to say,
Or longer.
for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much for life. Yes.
I don't even know how we met, but it was a long time ago.
Yes. We've been through a lot. Yes.
Yeah, we have. That's exactly right. All right. So it is going to be 85 degrees today, just to let you all know. And then snow tomorrow, and I'm not making that up. I cannot make that up. It is the truth. So we have friends from the Fair Board and 4-H here. We have some our friend Rachel from the, what is your official title? Naturalist. Kaylin. Not Rachel. It was written Rachel up there on the board.
I'm Rachel.
Oh, you're Rachel.
Yeah.
Kaylin. I'm sorry. I screwed that completely up. Okay, Kaylin, our naturalist from Lake Hope. I got that under control. And then our friends from the Veteran Service Office. So we're going to be talking about a whole lot of stuff today.
Busy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay. So Jamie and Rachel we have. And what are we going to be talking about today?
The horse committee. We're getting ready to do a fundraiser, so we want to come out and invite everybody to come out to it. It's March 29th, if I'm correct. And we're trying to do that. We're wanting to raise money for some new bleachers.
All right.
So-
Well, we're going to find out all about that in just a second. So let's have another break, and we'll be right back.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are back with. So, are you guys members of the horse committee? Is
Yes.
that what we're kind of featuring today?
Yep.
I know about that.
Yeah. You know a little bit about that, don't you?
A little bit about the horse
He
committee,
was telling me you were a horse queen.
dude.
I told you she was
Let
probably
me
one of the best ones we had. I'll give you that.
Just tell ya that my claim to fame of life is that I was the 1990 Jackson County Fair horse queen.
Yep.
I mean, it's all been downhill ever since.
It's just nosedived ever since right then. Yeah.
No, so the funny part is we've laughed about that for many, many years here on this program because, like, when a real queen comes in, I'm like, well, so did you know that I was, like, the 1990 horse queen at the Jackson County Fair? The one thing I did find out, though, is that I do get in free to the fair
Absolutely.
because I was a queen.
That's absolutely. We treat all our queens that way, and they all get to come in for free.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I got something out
Free
of the deal.
fair for life.
Yeah.
And my mother found my cowboy hat with the tiara on it.
Oh, I
So,
remember.
I do have
that
it.
picture.
Yes, had a little pearl. So cute. Anywho, that's not what we're going to talk about because we don't have horse queens anymore.
No,
Maybe
we
we
don't.
should bring that back.
We
We was
should.
talking about that just a few minutes ago. So that might be a possibility in the future.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. So how is the horse program at the fair? I can remember like when you and I were showing and stuff. I mean, we ran out of barn space.
Yes.
It was crazy.
A couple years ago, we ran out of barn space.
Did you?
So,
2 years ago,
yeah.
yes, we did.
Good deal.
And last year we was close on running out of barn space, so we're hoping to keep building.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and
we had 34 horses, I think,
Yeah,
last year.
yeah.
So,
Awesome.
50 the year before, I think it was. So
That's super
yeah,
good.
yeah. So we're growing. It's starting to come back a little bit. So
Very, very cool. All right, so let's talk about, okay, unless you've been around horses and owned one or shown one or whatever, let's just say they are delightful, most beautiful animals on earth, but they are also the most expensive
Yeah,
animals on Earth
Yes,
to be
absolutely.
around, to
Yes.
feed, to show, all of that. So it is hard for the kids and the parents and all of that to put that much time, effort, and money into the program. So that's where I think the horse committee is trying to raise some money, help these kids out a little bit.
Yep.
Our biggest thing we're pushing for this year is we need new bleachers.
Yes.
So
Okay.
That's what we're working to.
To accomplish, they're about $8,000. Time you get done buying them, we need 2 sets. So
Why don't you just put up some ladders and some boards?
Well, we could. That's what we
Kidding.
would have done back in the
I know,
day.
we
so-
would have, right?
Yeah, that's what we would have done. So yeah, but we're trying to
No,
do it. Yeah, we're trying to get it there. So I mean, what we've had over the years is starting to go away. They're starting to get age on them. So when we're trying to improve for the kids, it's what it's about. So that way, parents have a nice place to sit and watch their kids show. So that's our goal.
Okay.
Yep.
Bleachers are one of those things that are just there. You don't ever think about like how much they would cost or
Who pays for them?
Yeah, or who? I
They're
mean, they just magically appear and they're there.
It'd
And
be nice if they would.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. So it's just one of those stupid things. It's like underwear and toilet paper. You should never have to pay for it. But anyway, that's my
Something you have to have.
one of my life philosophies that you should never have to pay for those things. Bleachers you shouldn't have to pay for. But anyway,
Correct.
if you do have to pay for them, you said they're how much?
They're around $8,000 for 2 sets. Yeah.
And
So-
you need 2 sets?
We know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hoping to get 1 set bought this year. If we can get both, that would be awesome. So we're trying to just do things. We're having horse shows and stuff like that throughout the year. So hopefully we can raise enough money to buy at least 1 set for sure this year. So that's our goal.
Okay,
Yeah.
very, very good. So the arena looks like it's in pretty good shape.
Yes, yes. We in the last 3 years have brought I don't know how many semi loads of sand and
We did
stuff
4
in.
last year.
Yes, so we have been getting it. We've got some equipment. The fair board bought a piece of equipment to use on it and the racetrack, which was a big help. So, and then we're getting another arena drag donated by Diamond K. They're going to do
That's
that.
awesome.
So, them guys are awesome. He's come out and done a clinic for us. Kevin Raber, if you don't know him, he's been wonderful. He's helped us
Thank
a
you,
bunch.
Kevin.
So he's an awesome dude.
And that drag that they're giving us is going to be much better than what we have currently.
yeah. So
And when you get into horses are just they're just wimpy by nature,
Yeah.
They if you can think about why the good Lord above took fingernails and stuck it on a 1,000-pound animal to walk around on because that's what their hooves are made of. I'm not exactly sure why.
They get
But
hurt on flat ground
they
with
do.
nothing around them.
So arenas and footing and having proper footing for these animals is of the utmost importance.
Yes.
yes.
And
Especially
the
when you're
safety of
showing.
the kids.
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah.
showing them, they need that good footing.
Yes.
They do. I mean, we've all run around in the mud and all that.
We've got in trouble for taking our show horses in the mud, and if you remember those days.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
I think you got me in a lot of trouble back in those days.
Oh, I got you in trouble?
Yeah, you got me in trouble.
Okay.
Parents are not real happy that you take
I
that
was always the
expensive
good one.
hobby.
She got me in lots of trouble, so it was always her. It wasn't me.
For somehow I do not believe that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now the truth comes out. Absolutely. No, so let's talk about the horse program in general, and how's it been? What are you working toward other than bleachers?
Yep. Well, we're eventually going to replace the fence. We're trying to decide whether to go back with wood or vinyl. That's on our list to do.
Kind of in our 5-year plan, maybe
Yeah,
we'd say
yeah,
5-year.
yeah.
We would like to redo the barn.
Yeah.
At least
Okay.
to kind of rebuild the stalls to
Yep.
make them a little
Yep,
nicer.
yep. The fair board did us a nice favor a few years ago. They redid the metal and the roof and everything. So
Cool.
Some
yes,
of our
so,
stalls would
yeah, stalls are needing
replaced.
some repairs, which we've been doing a little as we can when we get enough money. So we're getting there. We're growing. I'm on the fair board, so that was one of them deals where it was nice to get that done for the kids. It needed it for a long time because I think the metal was on there when we was still there. So yeah, so
That was just
Yeah.
a few years
yeah,
ago.
it wasn't very long ago, Yeah, so seemed like yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's the program's really grown. I mean,
That's awesome.
I'm impressed with it. I mean, I think 4 or 5 years ago we had 20 horses maybe. So now it's really booming. It's starting to do. We're getting a lot of kids involved. So
Love that.
yes.
Yeah,
And then,
but not last year, the year before, we had to overflow to the race barn.
Yep.
Because
So,
we had too many.
yeah,
You know.
so it's good. We try to do our shows on the rodeo nights that we have at the fair, so the kids can go. They let them do that, compete in
like
the
to,
rodeo.
yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, it's like a double whammy there.
Yeah.
They get to do
Yep.
all the stuff and
Yep.
things. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so to raise money for this horse program, which is an infinite pit of
Yes.
need. Let's just
Owning
be
a horse.
honest
It is,
about
yes,
that.
it is.
Owning a horse is just not, everybody
It's
wants a
constant
horse.
expense.
Yeah,
Till you get one.
yes.
Then it's like, oh my goodness.
But let's talk about how you guys are trying to raise money.
So our upcoming event is a tack sale with a chicken noodle dinner. We have Kevin Wilson from
Man,
Washington Courthouse.
I think somewhere,
is
yeah,
where he's
somewhere around
from.
there, yeah.
He's going to come. He supplies the tack, and then we get a percentage of all of the tack that's sold. So it's all new tack. And then along with that, we're doing a silent auction. So we've received, or been getting donations for silent auction items as well.
okay. Well, what I was wondering is there a need for like donated, like good used tack? Do you do? I mean, is that something?
Yeah, we could set that over on the
Absolutely,
side
yeah.
and sell it. Yeah, absolutely. So if somebody has something to donate, we'll take
Because
it.
I know somebody that just got rid of their horses that has like a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we'll take anything you want to donate. Absolutely.
Okay.
And we'll just set it over there.
You
and
have
do
to
it.
clean it though.
That's all right.
not this girl.
I'm the arena guy. I let them do that work. So, yeah,
I'm telling you, I have some nice stuff, but it is dirty.
Hey, I have a daughter. I can put on that.
Yeah. We got lots of them. Me and my daughters can work on it. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Very cool. All right, so and okay, so let's go over the details of the tack auction and chicken and noodles, which is hello.
Yes.
Who doesn't like
Right.
chicken and noodles other than Cheryl, who just moved here from California and does not understand that chicken and noodles is a meal and not a soup.
So
Yes.
she needs to be integrated into the Jackson County.
Yeah.
She also does not understand why people put beans in water and call it a soup.
Ah,
We're learning her
we're
though.
getting her there. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Chili and peanut butter sandwiches.
Chili
Now
and
that we
peanut
do,
butter.
yes, we.
Chili and peanut butter is a
Yeah.
thing too. Chili and
Yeah.
grilled cheese, yeah.
Yeah.
All of that, yeah.
So,
We'll
so
get her
it's-
broken.
It's
Yeah.
March 29th. Chicken noodle dinner
Okay, so
starts at
that's-
5.
What day is that?
It's a Saturday.
Okay,
Chicken noodle dinner starts at 5, and then the auction will start at 6.
okay.
So we're even going to offer for people that want to come and just get chicken noodle dinner and not even get out of the car. You call us. We'll do curbside
Okay, and then that is where?
at the 4-H building at the fairgrounds.
Okay, so when you get into the fairgrounds, or well, you turn left at the ginormous Hazlitt Manor now that you can mansion
Yes.
that you can that's been redone that we've talked
Yes.
about here that is so absolutely blows my mind that thank God finally somebody got hold of it and redid it beautifully. So you go in that way, and then where do you?
Once you go through the main gate, turn left, and it'll be the big long green building.
So you don't have to drive around to the back.
You don't have to
No,
drive around
you
the
come
back.
straight through the front gate.
like you would at the fair or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
just right through the front gate, turn left,
Come
and,
right up to the
you'll see
building.
all the cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's plenty of parking.
Yes.
It's easy to get in and out of, and all of that. So
Yeah.
It'll be a good evening, I think. So
very
yep,
cool.
a lot of takeout orders, so we're hoping so.
Good
for sure.
desserts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have a.
A lot of everything. We've had a lot of stuff donated, so it's worked out good. We're hoping to do good.
And a lot of the donations we've already received are on the event on Facebook. So if you just search tack auction on the
Yeah.
events, you can see the stuff we've got donated.
All right. So do you have your own personal or like horse committee page?
Yes.
We do.
Yes,
Yep. Jackson County horse.
4-H Horse Committee, I think is what it's under. Yeah.
Yeah, Jackson
Okay.
County 4-H horse program.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think
actually,
I'm on.
Yeah.
I think I'm on that
So-
one. So yeah. Okay. So you can find out all the details
Yes,
on that
on
too.
that.
And the main thing is just to come out, help these kids out, and help the program out by. They do need new bleachers, and that is a necessity. Let's just be honest about it. And it costs a lot of money, and the kids need help, and anything that you can do to help out along the way, our local youth that are working so hard, we should be
Yes.
doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if they're working with their horses or their cattle or their hogs or their chickens, they're not out doing something they're not supposed to be.
doing.
Yeah, it's a
Correct.
very good program for kids.
Yes.
It teaches them a lot and keeps them.
That's what
I-
kept us out of trouble all them years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just multi-talented and got in trouble while we were doing good
Yeah,
things.
that was the thing we did. Yeah. The fun stuff,
No,
yeah.
we really didn't.
Yeah.
It was all in good fun. But no, 4-H in general, please support these 4-H programs because the skills you learn and the values that you learn along the way are invaluable. I just can't tell you enough about. I can't say good enough stuff about 4-H.
It's changed our lives, didn't it? So it's a good event.
For oh my gosh, yes. Such. I could talk for days about it, about how good it is.
I said, I remember the kids that I was in 4-H with. All of them grew up to be good adults. They're productive, because it teaches you the values of hard work and.
Well, and think how many friends you met along the way that you would have never known otherwise. Especially, when we were growing up and didn't have cell phones and social media and all that stuff. I mean, you had your fair friends and you only saw them once a year.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was okay.
A lot of my fair friends
Even
are
as
my
adults,
best friends today.
I'm doing it with my daughter, and I've met a lot of friends just as an adult through the 4-H.
Through parents and all that. Yeah, so it's just an amazing program, and can't stress enough how important it is. So very good.
Please come out and support us.
Yeah.
We appreciate all of the support.
Yes. And then when you come to the fair this year, you can ride a horse with us.
Oh gosh, do you know how long it's been since I've ridden a horse?
And we'll dig your crown out and we'll put it on you.
Dude, if I come to the fair, I'm wearing my crown.
Wear your
It's coming.
Because maybe we'll just start the program back up for you. There you go.
You can present the first crown.
Yeah.
I expect that will be a thing.
It can happen. Yes, we'll try to make that happen in the next few years. And you get to present it. You'll be our presenter.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Sorry, guys. I know you're going to have to deal with this all the time. Yes, there you go.
It's never going to end. Oh my God. All right. Well, thank you so much. Please check out their Facebook page. If you can find some donations to help the horse program, of course, everything is welcome because they need it.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
Thanks for having us here today.
Yes, we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Come to the fair.
Help the kids do good.
Yep.
Good things.
Yes.
And learn.
Yes. The fair will be here before we know it.
It will. Can you believe it?
Yes. A lot of good things happened at the fair this year. So there'll be a lot of good events. Chris Walls, our new president for the fair board, he'll be coming in to talk to you before too long, I'd say, and tell you all of our wonderful events.
I was going to say, is there any tea you can spill today?
No, I'm not going to spill any.
Okay, we'll wait for Chris.
I'll let Chris do that. So and
it's going to be fun though. There are some cool things.
I will get throw a little thing. That livestock committee has a big lamb and goat show Labor Day weekend. A lot of people, if you haven't been to one of those, it's getting huge. We have a big cattle show that we do.
Awesome.
I think the haunted barn is coming back this year. So
Yay!
So we should be that should be growing. So, but Crystal should be in soon to tell you we got some good stuff coming this year that we ain't had for a long time. So when Chris gets in here, he'll tell you all about the fair. So.
I have no doubt Chris will be very thorough about what he has to tell us because he's a good dude.
Yes, he is.
All right. Well, we do have some other guests here in the studio, so let's have another message, and we will be back with our friend Kaylin.
Thank you.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, TheTelegramNews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Subscribe today at TheTelegramNews.com.
Check it out.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original.
All right, and we are back with our good friend Kaylin, and you are the naturalist at Lake Hope, which to me just seems like never would. I know it's work, but it just would never be work.
That's exactly what it feels like.
That is so awesome.
It is technically work because I'm getting paid, but it's so much fun. I get to do different things all the time. I spend time outside with people following me around in the woods, which is what I'm here to talk about today, partially. Our hike coming up tomorrow. So, yeah, I love it.
You're just so lucky. That's so awesome. Not that it just fell in your lap. I mean, you made it happen, but so cool to get to do that every day. So, do you want to break the news of what tomorrow is? Like it is the first day of
spring.
Woo! The crowd goes wild.
Finally.
Can you believe it?
Yes. I have been ready for almost 2 months. Yeah.
Yep. Since since the 14 inches of snow and 2 degrees outside, I think everybody's over it.
Yep. I think we're all ready. With the weather today, we're going to be even more ready, and hopefully not too disappointed tomorrow when we do get a little bit of
Lecky.
snow.
How is it 85 degrees one day and snowing the next? It's Ohio. I mean, I guess that's all you can say about that. Mm-hmm. So, with the coming of spring, what does that actually mean?
So tomorrow is actually the Spring Equinox, and I brought a prop here to explain what an equinox is.
Yes, please.
It's a little rough, but imagine this as the Earth. Okay, so we have our equator, if you can see that there.
Yeah.
And then we have our imaginary axis. Certainly the Earth does not have 2 antennae at the North and South Pole here. But just to kind of give you an idea of the tilt of the Earth's axis, which is about 23.5 degrees. So maybe something like this.
Okay.
And when we are orbiting around the sun, it's staying at that tilt as it goes around. And of course, it takes a full year to go around the sun. And when it is summertime here, of course, we're in the northern hemisphere. We'll imagine the microphone as the sun. We are tilted a little bit more towards the sun. Mm-hmm. So that means we get warmer weather in the summertime. We get more intense UV light from the sun. And then as we continue around on the opposite side, we're still up here because this is also happening.
We're rotating.
There's a lot of movement.
Yeah, don't think about it; it'll make you sick.
We haven't even added the moon, but in the winter time, we are tilted a little bit further away from the sun. Mm-hmm. So on the opposite end is, that colder weather, less intense light from the sun. And then you have the spring equinox, which you can imagine, we're kind of right here, or on the other side right here, spring and autumnal equinox. So spring and fall first days. And that's kind of, the in-between. We're halfway in between the first day of winter and the first day of summer. So we have equal parts of light and dark right now, or pretty close to.
Okay.
So we're on our way towards summer. We're just not quite there yet.
And this is why I think spring and fall are everyone's favorite, or most people's favorite seasons, because it's kind of a tweener.
Yes.
Now spring, maybe a little bit more so, because that things start blooming and they're beautiful, start to be beautiful and all that. Bring life back to us.
Yeah. And this is astronomical spring, so it has to do with placement of where we are in the universe, our Earth, as it pertains to the sun. But, it does play with weather a lot. And of course, we have all had really warm weather, like today. It's still wintertime today. But
which makes no sense.
It's
Ohio.
The weather changes, and the daylight length is what's triggering a lot of the trees to start budding. Certainly, the warm weather is definitely playing a part in that.
I mean, I see full-on daffodils, and some of my bushes at my house are already budding, and
maples are starting to do their thing.
A la the runny noses and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
already.
I do think, like you said, it's my favorite time of year because so much is happening out there.
Because it's like the Earth comes back to life,
yes.
our Earth as we know it, where we live.
Right.
Our world.
In the northern hemisphere. Yeah.
It's so good to see things come back to life. It gives you hope.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yes, it definitely does.
Adrian, do you not like me?
What? Oh, sorry.
It's just me.
I'm having a day. I'm sorry.
But He's just ignoring me. It's fine. But no, okay. So tomorrow, with the first day of spring, comes what at Lake Hope?
So we're celebrating with a 1.5-mile hike on one of my favorite trails, Olds Hollow Trail. So we will be out there for, an hour and a half, something like that. That'll start at 10 a.m. And we are meeting out the Hope Furnace right on State Route 278. So it's one of the entrances to the park.
So if you would just get on your GPS and type in Hope Furnace, would it get you there?
It'll get you close.
Okay.
If you plug in Lake Hope State Park, that address actually takes you to the Lodge Road entrance, which is also good to know where that's at. It's just a little bit north of the lodge entrance. So if you plug in Lake Hope State Park, then you'll be pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah. The furnace, if you're not familiar, is a stack of sandstone blocks. It looks very much like a pyramid. And it was a blast furnace from 1854 to 1874. So it was smelting iron ore, sort of refining. And you can see that from the road. So
okay,
if
so if you keep driving, you'll know.
Yep.
And there will be people around, so that's good.
I should hope so.
Well, hopefully.
I'll be there at least.
You'll be there, and that's all that matters. So, what should people bring with them if they want to come on this hike? Is there money involved?
Oh, no. All of our park programs are free, which is great. And so that particular trail, you are probably going to want to wear closed-toed shoes. You're going to want to wear something a little sturdy because the trail is unimproved. It's moderate difficulty, so if you like to bring hiking sticks, that's something that you might want to take with you as well. It's not a really long hike, but if you're feeling inclined to bring water, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not roughing it too much.
Okay.
For that one, nice easy entrance into the new season.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of, as we come into spring tomorrow, what are some of the other things while you're here? I would love for you to kind of plug what you have coming up. Because I'm sure it's a ton.
Oh, we have stuff going on all the time. Right now, we're still kind of concentrating most of our programs on the weekends. And I will say that if you're interested in the full lineup of programs, you can go to ohiodnr.gov. We also, Lake Hope State Park has our own Facebook page, which I have everything listed each month on there. But coming up, some of our bigger programs, we have a very popular Easter egg hunt that will be on April 19th.
Fun.
Yep, so we're still a month away from that, but that is very popular. That'll be at 1 p.m. at the Nature Center, and we hide eggs all over the grounds there and separate into three age classes.
Oh, I love
yeah,
that.
It's a lot of fun. And then our annual youth fishing tournament will be May 3rd at 9 a.m. on the dam, and that's a really popular event too.
I'll bet.
Yeah. Yep. So a little bit later away, but again,
something
really
to look
popular.
forward to. Do the kids need to bring all their own stuff, or do you have stuff provided for them?
For the fishing tournament, most participants bring their own equipment because that's what they're familiar with. But we do have equipment there. We have bait that we give out if you need that. So if you just come and you're interested in fishing, we have all of that stuff available for you.
Okay. Because I know, again, it's like the horse thing. Like sometimes fishing can get expensive too. Or if you have numerous kids, and might be hard to have stuff for everybody. So that's great. You guys provide for them. So, but the main thing is we want you to come out tomorrow and take this walk with Kaylin, because she, knows all about the trails, and that way, if you ever take off on your own, you'll know where you're going.
Yep, and I'll point out some things that are happening already. You know, we're mentioning daffodils are blooming. That's not a native plant, but certainly is naturalized, and we will probably see them on the trail.
Oh, yeah. Get the little crocuses and all the fun stuff.
Birds
popping
are
up.
starting to sing their mating calls. The trees, everything is waking up, and I'll be pointing out that stuff and talking a little bit about all the other spring things that are happening.
Love that because it's finally here. And no, it does give us hope for the future, even if it's just spring by name only, as it probably will snow tomorrow. But yeah.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
That's okay.
Just bundle up. Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, is there anything else you wanted to tell us while you're here?
No, just be on the lookout for other programs. Like I said, they're all free, and I'd be happy to teach you guys all about what we have going on at Lake Hope State Park.
You know, and it is such a beautiful place. If you haven't, it's worth the drive just to go up and drive up to the lodge and just take a look off the deck.
Mm-hmm. And then
gorgeous.
eat some barbecue.
Yeah, and then eat some barbecue, and it's super good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the Sunday brunch. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good. So, all right. Well, girlfriend, you come back and see us anytime.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
We thank you for stopping by and for all you do.
My pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we do have our friends from the Veteran Services Office here, and we're going to talk with them in a minute, and then Jeremiah is going to stop by. So we have quite another second half of the show ready for you in just a second. So we'll be right back.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Galpless Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
Yeah, you guys can do this pictures. I'm just.
And we're back. So everybody sit down. And we got to squash a whole lot more. Yeah, yep. And then Adrian will fix us up here in just a moment as we. Everybody pull your mics up to you so everybody can hear. All right. Thank you, Kaylin. We appreciate you. Be safe. All right. Let me see. We good?
That's the best I can probably
Okay.
get it, because if I go that way, I'll...
Okay. Well, we'll squish it a little bit more. Okay, here we go. All right. So we are back, and welcome. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Jamie Russell, Chief of Voluntary Service at the Chillicothe VA.
I'm Scott King, the Veteran Service Officer for Jackson County.
I'm Ashley McAfee. I'm the Chief of Ambulatory Care and Processing at the Chillicothe VA.
At the VA hospital, right? And so what are we talking about today?
Well, there's a couple really important points I'd like to hit on.
Absolutely. I had no doubt that you would have some points to hit on today.
You know, of course, I want to pump the office and get the veterans in.
For sure.
And explain a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the VA Mobile Clinic up in Wellston. That's there Monday and Tuesday.
Which is, if you're not utilizing it, please do so.
Yeah. And then we've got the Veterans Day, not the Veterans Day, but the Veterans Picnic coming up on May 17th in Manpower Park.
All right. Well, that sounds amazing. So tell us a little bit about what you girls do on the daily. And then we'll get to Scott's stuff.
Okay, well, at voluntary service, we process volunteers and donations. So we plan all the fun events at the Chillicothe VA on behalf of our veterans organizations or volunteers who like to sponsor events and make a difference in our Veterans Day. So right now we're working on a large event on May 4th, which is a suicide prevention and awareness program, and it's completely free. We'll have free food, and it's at the Chillicothe VA facility, May 4th.
Love free food.
Spring Fest. We're going to have a car show, so if you want to enter your car in the car show, there'll be an Eventbrite.
There were so many cool cars there last year.
Absolutely. We got some bands going to play some free music.
Woohoo!
You know, free food and just some swag with the suicide prevention hotline numbers, and just the mental health assistance to show what's out there at the VA has to offer. July 19th, we also have a large event, and it's for veterans and their family, Veterans Appreciation Night.
Love that.
Free ball game at the Paints. We're going to have 7 Mile Bluegrass. The event starts at 12, and there also will be an Eventbrite where you can veterans can register for the game, and they can have up to 10 family members come and join them in the fun. We'll have bouncy houses, free food, bluegrass music, 7 Mile Bluegrass. They're wonderful. And night
sounds great to me.
Night at the ball field, Chillicothe Paints.
Fun.
And then fireworks after.
Oh my gosh, you guys have a whole day full of it.
It's a whole day full of family fun and absolutely free for our veterans. So
as it should be.
There'll be more to come. So if you're not logged into Facebook, get on our Chillicothe VA Facebook page, and we'll have all of our events advertised on there. Tell you how to enroll for the event itself and get your free tickets.
Jamie, isn't this the 17th year of the Veterans Appreciation Night?
17th annual.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, it's very cool. So we are able to provide a lot of different services to our veterans during the Veterans Appreciation Night. So we have a lot of different booths set up, a lot of different information tables. They're able to come around, ask questions, get more information. So whether it's the Veteran Service Office being out there and having information, places like Vet Center, or we would have suicide prevention, caregiver support, enrollment. There's a whole bunch of different services that come out for that event. We've also had places like Mission 22. I'm trying to think. There's so many different places. We've even had the recruiters. I think last year we had the recruiters from the Air Force there. So they're all kind of wandering around and being available for our vets.
Love that. And, again, as it should be, because they should be taken care of and appreciated. So you mentioned volunteers. Are volunteers needed at the VA?
Oh, absolutely.
Can we talk about that and how you can help?
Sure. You can call the VA, 740-773-1141, extension 17420, and come schedule an appointment, get an application. We have volunteer orientation. We have different areas at the facility, but my heart is to get volunteers to volunteer to go over on our nursing home care units, our CLC units. We house 160 veterans there. And sometimes it's awful lonely. So if you got 2 hours, an hour, we'll take anything you got to offer to come in just to visit and say hello. It's very rewarding, and the veterans get very attached.
Oh, I'll bet.
To our volunteers.
And here's the thing, I'd say if you sat down and spent some time, you'd learn a whole awful lot.
Yeah. Absolutely. We have a veteran that's 102.
Do you really?
So, it's very interesting on what you can learn and the experience you can have just by coming visiting. If you only want to come an occasional time to come and sing Christmas carols at Christmas time, or come just to say hello and visit for an afternoon, or like I said, an hour, it's very rewarding. And I would bet if you come one time, you'd want to come back.
I would say so. Absolutely. Are there any requirements? Do you need to?
We do have some youth volunteers. You have to be 15.
Okay.
And you do have to pass a background check.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
But that's the only requirement. To sign up, we do recommend that you do, want to work at least 50 hours because of the process of fingerprinting and doing the background checks, the expense of that.
Yeah, sure.
So we would like to make sure you really want to volunteer and make a difference.
That makes total sense. All right, Scott, and let's talk for a minute about some of the things going on in our local Veteran Service Office.
Probably the most important thing I'd like to talk about is to get the veterans. Come and see us.
It's here for you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you got out yesterday or you're 100 or 102 years old, we advocate on behalf of the veteran to get them the benefits. It could be education, it could be health care, widows' pensions, family members and stuff. So there's just a lot of things out there, but you got to come and see us. You got to come to us so we can help you. And this is the most gratifying job I've ever had in my life.
I'll bet. Well, I know you, and I know how you love to help, and how passionate you are. So I think it's just a match made in heaven as far as having you in that office. And of course, Arnold was there for 100 million years and did just an amazing job too. But I can't think of anybody better to take the reins.
Thanks. Yeah. So we've got a lot going on. But I do want to take a minute, and you guys can chime in on this. The VA mobile clinic up in Wellston.
Man.
Now this is a big deal.
Huge.
Yeah, this is a big deal because not everybody gets it. But we've got it down here in this region, and we're seeing a lot.
We're so lucky.
Yeah, it's just amazing, and they're using it. So we need to get the numbers up, because if we can get them up to, I think the next threshold is 200. Am I right or wrong? Or
I don't know the threshold. But I know that it's an awesome service that we're able to provide. It is very well received by the public, by our veterans. We've had so many activities there just to promote the mobile unit, and also having the hopes of having maybe eventually like a permanent spot, and also taking the mobile unit other places as well. Some of our regions that are like we can't as easily access, or maybe the veterans don't have as much direct access to care, because it is, the main hospital is in Chillicothe.
Sure.
Our outpatient clinics were able to do some things. At the mobile clinic, they do their primary care appointments. They can have their labs drawn. And then hopefully they can continue to offer more and more.
And you've got a dedicated MD, Dr. Jenkins, who was at the clinic. So.
Yeah, and Dr. Jenkins is amazing.
Yeah, he's
and
great.
They love him, and the staff, and the nurse manager, all great people that they would do anything to make sure the veterans taken care of.
Because they should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And the
It is a big thing, and we want to make sure that people know, A, that it's there, and B, utilize it, because if not, it's possible that it would go away, and who would want that? We don't want that to go away.
Yeah, we don't want to give up ground. We want to keep pushing forward for this. And so
Absolutely.
far, the momentum is growing, and eventually, if we get enough participation, and I think we're on track for that, it could develop into a brick and mortar facility,
a
so
permanent
we'll be all the time.
thing, and then that mobile thing could move on to another community that could utilize it. So I was just sitting here thinking that while for all of us probably driving a half hour to Chillicothe isn't that big of a deal, it is to a lot of folks, and getting to Wellston is a whole heck of a lot easier. So please utilize this. And what are some of you mentioned, yearly appointments, things like that. What are some of the other things that they can do at the mobile clinic?
Well, specifically, they're looking at their regular appointments, or their appointments with their providers, Dr. Jenkins. But I'm thinking mainly that's like it's mainly a primary care team appointment. And then if they need labs drawn, those labs are then taken up to Chillicothe to be ran and everything, so they still get that same information, so they're still getting the same services. And
what if you just feel icky one day? Can you go?
You can go and see if there's an opening, absolutely. So they can take walk-ins if they have the staffing and they have the availability. If not, there's always the option. So if you're a veteran that's enrolled for care and eligible for care, there's always the option to go to a local ER if you cannot be seen, say, at your primary care team. Maybe that you can't get in, maybe it's too far, maybe it's after hours. There's always that option. And I say that because the only thing you have to do if you go to an ER or an urgent care, you have to notify the 72-hour line. So that is a phone number, and that is also a website. So on the va.gov website, it is super easy. And they can look up community care and just say that they were seen at the local ER. They'll put in all their information, and it sends them a notification to their email, and that gives them the authorization. But that has to be put in within 72 hours. So
I had no idea about that. Thank you.
And it's huge. The number also to call in is 1-800. Hold on. Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up now. I started thinking about it.
We put her on it. Yeah, don't think about
I put myself on the spot. Now I can't remember what it is.
So, Scott, something that I didn't know too, and go ahead.
Sorry. The number is 1-844-724-7842. So you can call that as the veteran. Your family member can call that for you. And if you ask the facility, they can do that. But that gives you the authorization for care. And you just say, I have VA coverage. I'm covered by the VA.
Okay. I didn't know that was the thing. So that's awesome. Thank you for letting us know about that. I know that different veterans, or maybe I'm wrong on this, so correct me if I am, and you girls will know this too. Are certain people, depending on your military background, eligible for like more than some when it comes to benefits and medical care?
I'll jump in.
Am I like really muddying the waters here?
No. I don't think so. So
everybody kind of starts out at the same
basically.
gate.
Yep.
You know, the same starting point, and then we'll go through and we'll screen. We'll file a claim on them, and what we're looking for is service-connected disabilities. So if they were ever injured in the service,
okay,
or maybe oftentimes it's injuries that we can't see.
Absolutely.
And so we'll screen that, we'll get that file with VA, and at that point, that's where things kind of begin to shake out, because we have to have a service connection. It has to have happened in the military or aggravated by military service to that. So at that point that's where things begin to kind of separate, and it goes on their own individual sort of course.
The forks go out.
Yeah, it's going to depend on, if they were injured.
Okay.
To the degree or the severity of it. I don't want to get too crazy, but there's a thing called secondaries, that you wouldn't have had this one if you hadn't had this service connection. So then it just sort of branches out.
Do they start with you?
Mm-hmm.
And are you Jackson County, or
yes,
regional, or
every county in Ohio by law has a veteran service office.
Good to know.
We're the Jackson County guys. Now, veterans, you guys can go anywhere for this, but we're here in Jackson County for the veterans. We get a lot of spillover from our neighboring counties.
Mm-hmm.
So now they can also do it online at va.gov, filing their own claim. But I think that's where.
That muddies the water.
None of us can figure that out.
That one muddies the water.
Most of you want to go see a human being.
I tell them, come in, let me be persistent for you. Let me be anxious for you. Let me be frustrated for you.
Let him fight the fight, because he can do it. I promise.
I'll get you across the goal.
And it's free. And it's free. And it's free to you. Yep. The hardest part is getting them in the door sometimes, because they say, well, I don't need that. I'm actually not that sick right now, or I'm, this person needs this more than me, and it's like, well, that's not the point, because you're gonna need this whether you believe it or not.
Veterans by nature are that way,
yes.
and that's why they're veterans. That's why they serve the country. But stop being heroes, folks, and
it's kind of funny because you see the similarities, come in the door, and most people they'll do one, maybe two enlistments, so they get out. And they're in their early 20s or mid 20s, and we're very resilient at that age, and I got no problems. And the other thing is, too, by the time you get up to the end of your enlistment, I just want to get out. I'm fine, nothing to see here. Thank you, see ya. Mm-hmm. But there are things going on. Mm-hmm. And so then we go a decade or two, and they come in and say, my back's killing me. And I heard it one time, and we take it from there. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, let me carry the ball for you.
Yeah.
We'll get you across the goal line.
I promise, this guy will fight. He will. if you've never met him in person, he will do it. So he'll be there for you. And these ladies are the VA, amazing organization and place, and always having our veterans.
Best interest
and
at heart.
Thank you. The best interest, yes.
And
absolutely.
we offer different programs, and some veterans may not realize that. And, we have a rehab unit. So if you have a hip replacement, knee replacement, where you need 3 hours of therapy a day, you can come and stay at the VA, and your room is right down the hall from therapy. You don't have to leave the floor to go to therapy.
Unbelievable. That's great.
And you can stay 2 to 3 weeks, whatever your doctor prescribes, you to stay. We have a hospice unit, and, we hope we never need it, but we may, so we have a wonderful hospice program. We have an Alzheimer's unit, and we house 40 veterans that have Alzheimer's.
All of it.
Wow,
that's awesome.
And we have the best facility ever, for long-term care, but it's getting those veterans to enroll for care and to make sure.
Getting them to ask for help is...
Well, the wives, that's where the wives come in to play a part too. Wives make your husbands fill out that enrollment application if they're a veteran to see what benefits, they may be eligible for. And you may not be eligible now if you're working, but when you retire, things change, or your medical conditions. So just getting them to enroll in care.
So another thing that has changed, and this has kind of been the last year, we've had this huge impact of the PACT Act. Yeah. So exposure to different, maybe like radiation, asbestos, burn pits. So that's been a huge contribution to some of our veterans' eligibility for care right now. So even if you're not getting service connected, so you're going to Scott's office, you're trying to get your service connections for anything you incurred in the time of duty. Well, then also come into the VA, come in the front door, ask questions, see what you're eligible for.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, and if you're eligible for care, you're eligible for a lot of different services. So, if I say, oh, you know what, my hearing is really bad, and I can go to if I'm eligible for care, I can go down to audiology and they can hook me up with a set of hearing aids, and then I can go to Scott and I can say, you know what, I really think I need to be service connected for my hearing, and Scott can help me figure that out. But it's getting your foot in the door.
Sure.
If you ever have questions about eligibility and enrollment, getting your foot in the door at the VA for care, whether it be the mobile unit, it be one of the clinics like Athens, Cambridge, Lancaster, Marietta, Wilmington. I think those are all of our clinics out. The Chillicothe VA itself serves 17 counties in Ohio.
Wow.
So we have this very large area of effect, and we also see veterans. They're in West Virginia, some are in Kentucky. Yeah. I've seen some in Indiana. Like, it just all over the place. Veterans come to us from Columbus instead of being seen at the Columbus clinic. So there's a wide range of veterans that come to us for services, whether it be the main hospital or one of our clinics out in the community. But the first step is coming in the door. My team, I'm over the eligibility department. I'm the enrollment coordinator. So if you call the main number, the 740-773-1141, and you hit number 4, option 4, takes you directly to my staff. So we can help you figure out, what do I need to bring? Well, we're going to ask you for your DD-214, and we're going to have you fill out what's called a 1010-EZ. It's a health enrollment application.
Okay.
So that kind of gets you started. So and it's 3 pages, and I know nobody likes to fill out the forms, but guess what?
Hey,
Once it's done, it's done.
There you
and then
go.
you don't have to do that part again. Some people are eligible, like I said, because of the PACT Act, and that gives them all the eligibility they need. But then maybe they are over income, they don't have these special eligibilities, they might have to update their financial information every year. But we have a lot of different options.
And I think the fact is just know that you're not alone. I mean, there's all of these people sitting here today are here to help you. So just ask. And I know it's hard. It's hard to ask, but just do it. So.
Yeah, I think for me, the big takeaway from this session here would be what you just emphasized. Come in.
Please.
Come in. Because some of the scenarios we see are really it's really sort of sad. Yeah. We get the veteran who has never came in, never filed for eligibility with the VA, never cared for them. They came out, maybe they got a good job and they had insurance. And, well, now they're at the age, they're retired, and their home is paid for and all this stuff, and dementia sets in. So now the wife is the veteran has became too much to care for. So they're in a nursing home, and Medicare they're now involved in this, and they're saying, look, can you get us eligible for VA? I said, absolutely. Let's do what we can, then we talk.
Yep.
And it's amazing because sometimes I say, look, I've got to have that DD-214. Veterans, get that DD-214,
Absolutely.
Bring it up to the Jackson County Recorder's Office, file it. We're going to give you a free ID card, veteran, a government-issued ID.
That
so
is the
I'm plugging
thing.
that in there for you. But we've got the veterans, and I look at that DD-214 when they come in, and I think, You have so many things. Just your MOS, military occupational specialty, is something. Maybe you're a tanker, maybe you're an infantryman. There's claims here that if you would have just came in, not only we could have got you disability compensation, but you'd have been covered for this. But now here we are in a crisis situation. But don't worry, we'll answer the bell. We're going to step up.
I agree with that 100%, and that's why all of these folks do what they do. So, hey, let's talk about Armed Forces Day before we get to Jeremiah.
The Armed Forces Day, if you haven't seen it, it's a yearly thing now, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And yeah, it's a great time, great food. Everybody's there, I think. We have a lot of agencies. Of course, we'll be there. The VA will be there.
It's a great time.
It's just a great time. Now, I will say, probably the person I engage with that's heading this up is Greg Roseberry here at Jackson VFW. So if you get a chance to have him on, he can really go
we'll
into
have
detail.
him on.
Yeah. So, and he's got his finger on the pulse of this, on what's going on. And we're just I just take direction from Greg. And
you just do as you're told.
What do you want me to do?
Tell me what you need.
Yeah, but that's May 17th from noon to 4. And like I say, it just keeps getting bigger each year. Bring
It's
the
an
kids.
amazing thing.
So it's a good deal.
You got it. All right. Well, thank you all for stopping
Thank you for
by.
having
Come
us.
back when we have anything to talk about. We'll be happy to have you back anytime.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, Jeremiah. Do we have another message, Adrian? Okay, and we'll be back with Jeremiah in just a second.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023. Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers...
Does this stay up here?
Okay, it's fine. All right, so we are back with Jeremiah, and we are going to hear, we have a minute and a half to get all the news in.
We'll take a couple of minutes. How about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
So wanted to let readers and folks in Jackson and Vinton counties know that the National Weather Service has issued a red flag warning for the area. Okay?
Yeah, I heard
You may not
something
know what
about
that
that.
means. So the warning is in effect starting here in a few minutes.
Yes.
And actually, I think it's in effect. Not 10 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. Starting at 11 o'clock till 10 p.m. this evening, Wednesday, March 19th. This warning is happening, and they're saying a combination of warm temperatures, breezy winds, dry grounds, and the atmosphere conditions will create the increased risk for fire, ignition, and spread.
Yes.
Okay, so just like a little spark, near a dry...
Because it's super dry outside.
Or people's out, burning or whatever, which they should not be doing.
Which you should not be doing, by the way.
Can, cause this. So the warning is a part of parts of Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, and, continue to heed the state burning laws and avoid activities that could spark a wildfire. Here in the state of Ohio, state law prohibits open burning in unincorporated areas during March, April, and May between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. To prevent wildfires. And like I said, this warning is on until 10 o'clock tonight, so I wouldn't even burn this evening. just because of the
Absolutely.
enhanced risk of fire
And
danger.
it's the silly things, Jeremiah, like flicking your cigarette out the window. How many fires get started by that? Like, it's crazy.
Right.
So just be vigilant about that.
Be
and
vigilant,
conscious
be weather aware.
that it's a thing.
It is a thing. And like I said, the warning just means that conditions are favorable for this to occur. And it doesn't necessarily mean that there's like a fire happening outside right now. It just means
We're trying to prevent one. We're trying to be proactive here, folks.
So wanted to touch on that.
Okay.
Had a little, breaking news out of the city of Wellston yesterday.
Okay.
City of Wellston announced Tuesday afternoon, March 18th, that Stacy Camp, who serves as Wellston's Service and Safety Director, is stepping down. And for those watching on the TV, I always say TV. We're not on the radio anymore, are we? I don't think we are. So I always think of that. But anyway, you're always watching on the TV. So there's a photo of Mr. Camp there. For a period of time, Camp had been on medical leave, and he had recently returned to work in early March. And he had originally taken over the reins of Service Director. It was back on May 8th, 2023. And at that time, he had replaced Anthony Brenner, who had been serving as Safety Service Director before getting appointed Wellston Mayor. And then, later Brenner was elected by the public to continue to be mayor, and then Camp was there by his side as Service Director. And Mayor Brenner had posted on social media that he, along with the rest of the employees of the city of Wellston, expressed their sincerest gratitude for the time Camp spent with the city. And Brenner also thanked Camp for his service in the Marine Corps because he was also in that for a period of time. But that position of Service Safety Director is one that the mayor appoints.
Okay.
I've not been able to touch base yet with Mayor Brenner, but I assume he will probably appoint a replacement sometime soon.
Okay.
Or I don't know if he has somebody in mind, or maybe he's looking for somebody to take over those.
It's not an easy job, that's for sure.
Not an easy job. Yeah, that job. It's the head of department. It's the Department of Public Service and Safety, and they are the supervising authority over the police and fire departments, as well as responsible for repairing and maintaining the city streets, water mains, pumps, pipes, storm drains, and culverts.
All the stuff.
So anything you can think of. And Wellston's it's a big job because Wellston, on average, has 3 water leaks a day, is what the mayor recently said in a council meeting. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna get into one more real quick, just because I don't want this to get any older. Over the weekend, we had a chase that covered 2 counties. Started here and ended in Vinton County, and we have a picture of the gentleman that was involved. This is, let me find it here. This is Troy M. Fleckinger. He's 56 of Waverly. Okay, and we've talked about this before, Jen. This is one of those scenarios where if you're going to do something that you shouldn't do and you're out in your car, you need to make sure you're following the rules of the road.
Yeah.
Maybe check to make sure you're using your turn signal, just simple stuff like that. Because what started this was a simple traffic violation.
Oh, my.
Light bulb was not illuminating the license plate, and it was after dark. A police officer observed that the plate wasn't lit up. Tried to, this was on Saturday, March 15th, around 9:47 p.m., the Jackson Police Department. They were patrolling in the area down by Jackson Walmart there, and they observed it was a 2005 Ford Focus, pulled out of the Walmart parking lot onto McCarty Lane, and then later got on Main Street, and then ended up on the exit ramp for 32 westbound. And the officer finally was able to get the plate information and get it over to the dispatch. And they conducted a traffic stop, they said, on Markham Drive, there near Holzer Medical Center.
Okay.
And the vehicle was occupied by the male driver, which we had up there, and a male passenger. And when they conducted the traffic stop, the driver reportedly gave police a false name and date of birth. And then as the officer was approaching the vehicle, asking him to step out, the driver began revving up the vehicle's engine, and he took off.
Oh, no.
Okay, and then he went over, I don't know how many different roads. I'm not going to get into all that, but at one point he was out on 32 heading towards Pike County, reached speeds of between 80 and 90 miles per hour with the pursuit.
Dang.
Almost lost control a couple times during the pursuit, but the chase ended in Pike County on the property of, was it Bops Auto Parts there in the village of Beaver. And that's when Troy was taken into custody. He actually had a warrant for his arrest for a previous charge of criminal trespassing. They did a inventory of the vehicle and located believed items stolen from Walmart. And
Gosh. No.
he confessed to stealing the items to police, according to the report that we received. And the stolen merchandise was valued at over $500.
Oh, my.
And the vehicle was towed. He was transported back to the police department, then later incarcerated in the Jackson County Correctional Facility. And he is facing charges of driving under suspension, license plate light, not being there, obstructing official business, failure to comply with the order of signal of a police officer, theft, and criminal trespassing. Again, because he trespassed on somebody else's property. So
not good.
Anyhow, we had that story. It's on the front page of today's edition of the Telegram.
Okay.
So you can read more details about that if you want, going over all the different roads that he tried to evade police.
Wow.
And I know we're way over time, so we'll save these for tomorrow.
Okay.
So.
Very good. Well, Jeremiah, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Yeah.
And
I have some other news to get into. A lot of stuff happening this week. It always seems like you're busy doing other things, and in the news business, there's always something else going on.
There
and is. It's one of those kind of weeks where I did not have this on my bingo card or this, and there's just stuff popping up. But we had an incident in Vinton County that I'm trying to track down yesterday.
Okay.
Not going to get into it this morning. Hopefully, maybe by tomorrow, I'll have some details. But kind of a scary situation up there.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll fill you out as soon as we know more information. We'll fill you in on what's going on.
I'm supposed to make contact here when I get off the TV with the person, so hopefully I can get the whole detail.
Okay.
So I don't give anything wrong.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy 85 degrees today, as we do have some snow in the forecast for tomorrow. So just Ohio, that's all I can tell you. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in. Thanks to our guests for stopping by, and we'll see you right back here in the morning. Bye-bye, everyone.